Okay, let me do my intro and then get into it. What's up? My name is Siba and welcome to Siba Selects episode 1 with Mandlin Beams.
Hi.
Super excited. I actually can't believe it.
You can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Oh, I'm really good. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Before I dive right into the questions, I just want to say we both need to thank Apple Music for this moment.
Yeah.
Just kind of like throwing in The Sky's My Friend shuffle, it just kind of blessed me. I was like, oh my god, who is this?
Oh, wow, yeah.
And that's how I came to know about Mandlin Beams. So
You found me on Apple Music.
yeah,
Oh, that's really good. Shout out Apple Music.
I was actually quite excited to write about your song, and then I went onto the Slick on Life website and found that Theo had already written about it.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, so I was ready to go in, but like, hey,
Oh.
I guess. But anyways, episode 1.
Episode 1. The beginning.
The beginning.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Did you overthink the questions, or you just ready?
No, I'm ready. I
Okay.
think. Or am I not ready?
Okay. So, to start from the beginning, I really appreciated the cover art and everything else that you used around your music, which is something that even at like the really top level is not something that happens. So it's really, I was really blown away by the cover art. Can you just tell us a bit about that and really break it down? The phone, the gold tears, the color red,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I've always felt like I haven't been strong visually, like in my creative process. I've always like been good at the sonic aspects of creating. So I hit up Visual Daddy Q, and he's this amazing photographer, creative director.
He is amazing.
I just gave him my project. I was like, listen to this and tell me what like comes to your brain. So then while we were like brainstorming different ideas, we were on like Zoom calls every day in quarantine.
Yeah.
And he invited this amazing creative director. Her name is Anastasia. She works at Ikawe magazine.
Also amazing.
She's like phenomenal, and she's the one who did the set design, and conceptualized the whole phone, because my project's called Here's My Heart, and I have a phone. She found a heart-shaped phone, like.
Oh, it's heart-shaped.
Yeah, it's a
No
heart.
ways.
If you look close,
Okay.
the phone's a heart shape, so it's like your heart's hearing me, and do you know what I mean? So that was really cool. I was just open to learning about the creative and the visual aspects of music, because I haven't like understood that part. And then on Clubhouse, we met this amazing like journalist who was also part of the cover art process, and she actually was working with the font, and I didn't realize that like fonts really change the mood and like the energy of like any like written text. And she was like brainstorming ideas with us. It was just like a whole like collaborative process. So yeah,
I think it came together like really beautifully. It kind of felt like I'd met you before I'd met you. Like I was like, there are artists that sing about love, but I can tell that you have a lot of love to give, not just in a romantic sense. And that really brings me to my next question about the 5 love languages. Are you aware of all 5?
Yes, I do know the 5 love languages.
Okay, so
I do.
Of all the love languages, they say people have a really dominant one, a really dominant 2, rather.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the others kind of just trail behind in whatever order. What would you say is your most dominant love languages?
So I've actually did a love language test. Go do your test. And mine, my first one is words of affirmation, and my second one is quality time. Yeah. It's crazy because I'm studying psychology, and we did this like one study where we like read this open essay on love languages, and there's a philosophy, a thought, that your love language is what your parents didn't give you, or what you lacked as a child.
Yeah.
So you go seek that in romantic partners. So
Yeah.
that was like, oh, that's deep. But yeah, of course, I'm a writer.
Mm.
I love music. I love words. I think that I always say that, like, in my life, I felt like I learned a lot in English. Like, it was the one class where I felt like, okay, my brain works. Like reading Shakespeare, understanding different poetry and stuff like that. It made me really fall in love with words. So when someone can express why they love me and how they love me with their words, I don't know. It makes me feel fulfilled and loved. Yeah, it's the way I understand love.
So would you say definitely, I know this might be a bit of a personal question.
Yeah.
But I believe like humans are really complex and they can be like
Definitely,
either really influenced by an extreme giving of something or an extreme lack of something. With you in your life, would you say it was a lack or an extreme of words of affirmation? Were you always someone that was encouraged, things like that? Or was it like because of a lack of words of affirmation, maybe someone else, their love language is gift giving?
Yeah.
You know, so like if I buy you stuff, even if it's like a chocolate.
Definitely. You know, it's really complex for me. But I do believe that I think maybe it's like more of a lack perspective because most of my life, like boarding school, I didn't really spend time with my parents as much as I would like as much as most kids would have. So I do think like, yeah, it's an aspect of lack from my parents. But I don't blame them for it because life is life. I feel like they were just trying to figure out how to be parents and yeah.
I find it interesting because that is also my most dominant love language.
Really? And you're a Virgo man. Wow.
Hey, maybe the whole
interesting
star sign thing is not a thing. Maybe not. But yeah, absolutely. Mine is also words of affirmation, and it came under the same circumstance. It was a lack of it.
Yeah.
You know, but
definitely.
I feel like it's something with the previous generation where they didn't have a lot of things, so their love language is giving stuff.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So that brings me to the next question, and it there was a line on the EP where you said you lost yourself in the love. Now, from your perspective, do you find yourself in love where it's easier to lose yourself or it's easier to find yourself?
That's a really good question. You know, for me, I think I've had experience in both situations. You know, I think when I was a bit younger, I'm still young, I'm still 21, but like straight after like high school, I came and moved to Johannesburg because I spent like my high school in KZN. And when I moved here, I didn't realize how sticky the dating pool is in Johannesburg, you know. These streets are cold. But nonetheless, yeah, I was meeting different people and I really felt like at that time, because I wasn't even studying psychology then, I was always like people pleasing and wanting a lot of validation from like men. And I would always lose myself or morph myself into what my partner was or what they liked or what they wanted, and everything was just about them. And I would dim my light, you know, and dim my interests and dim my voice because I have a lot of things to say. I've got a very complex mind, you know, and I'm like a sapiosexual. Like I find and I attract and I connect to people through like speaking, you know. So like, yeah, I felt like before I turned 21, I did lose myself a lot in love, but that was because I didn't understand boundaries. I didn't understand saying no to people and just like, yeah, standing up for myself more. But now I have met different people and I'm constantly finding myself in love, you know, not just in romantic love and like friendship love, you know, like I have amazing friends who help me understand myself better, who help me like process my emotions better through, you know, the relationships we build and the experiences we have. And I think love is a beautiful thing when you have someone who is loving you intentionally with pure intentions, you know. So yeah, I find myself finding myself love in more friendship relationships because I'm single. But yeah, I have lost myself in love and found myself.
On the sapiosexual
Yeah.
note, I think it took me until I really understood that, or being demisexual. I always felt pressured to be, going after girls in whites, and
Right.
so now it's like, oh, it is okay to be in love with how someone thinks,
Yeah.
how they view things.
Yeah.
So
To be in love with their brain.
exactly.
Yeah.
So what would you say are some of the fundamental things, the building blocks of who Mandlin Beams is as a human being that needs to be in your partner? Obviously, like, as partners, you'll be different, you have your, but the fundamentals is like, if you're not this, we probably won't be able to grow anything. What do you think those are in yourself?
Okay, so my first part is spiritual. Like, I need to know that my partner is connected to God, and then, like, not in like a Christian, Islamic, or anyway, just connect to God, meditate, or read a Bible, or pray or meditate. Like, just knowing that you are connected to the divine, like, and understand that everything is happening because of the divine, and that we're connected to the divine. Someone who's spiritually conscious, someone who is a free thinker, who doesn't like think in a box, who's open-minded, who's open to understanding different perspectives and not just holding on to their own perspectives. And yeah, I think lastly, someone who's kind and patient. Like, it's really hard to find kind people these days who really understand and also value mental health. I think that understanding that people are complex and we all have our different traumas and we all go through different things, you need to find someone who's willing to go through hard things with you and be patient with you. So someone who's got a kind spirit and kind hearts. Yeah. Not in Johannesburg, you can't find that.
Like, it's so crazy. Like, from the outside looking in,
Yeah.
you're the type of person where I would say to other guys, like, hey, if you broke Mandlin Beams' heart, you don't deserve anything nice, bro. Why would you do that? So it's,
Yeah.
and one side of me, I'm kind of like, it's not real. Because I grew up in Joburg, and as you say, it's sticky out here. So I still don't believe that an individual like yourself quite fully exists. But nonetheless.
So am I a scam?
It is your scam. It is your scam. So there is an author named Kate Ross.
Right.
And it's not her original one, but I like how she put it. She says that in life, you can fall in love. Well, you mainly fall in love 3 types of ways. Basically, your first love.
Yeah.
Your karmic love, which is where everything just kind of goes bad.
Yeah.
But you're still trying to make it work. But it's the most toxic one.
Yeah.
Well, the one where you find yourself the most
impactful one.
Yeah. Most lessons there.
Yeah.
And then what she calls the twin flame, which is your most compatible love. You might have more than one, obviously. But those are the 3 phases of love. What are your thoughts on those phases, and which phases have you gone through, and what have you learned?
Sure. I've gone through all the phases. If you listen to my project, Fall is actually about a first love, or my first times with you. So that's like falling into the first love category. Unrequited love is dangerous. I'm not ready. It's all about my karmic lover, and my twin flame was right for me. The sky is my friend. That's the energy in which I embodied love when making those songs. And I really, really think that this author is spot on. I've experienced really difficult times with my karmic lover, to be more specific. But it's interesting if I shift my perspective that through my relationships with karmic people, because I've had, I think, more than one karmic lover where I've learned lessons where it didn't go so well, where love was a bit dangerous. I did learn more about myself, and I did learn more about the resilience inside of me, and like the power of healing, and which that I can, pick myself back up, revenge body, love myself,
of course.
fix myself for myself, But yeah, it's beautiful and ugly at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which song would you say was the toughest one for you to write? I'm really intrigued because, you kind of raw and cut on all of them.
I think unrequited love. Yeah, that was the toughest because I remember writing that song. I was literally in my room and I have like a keyboard in my room, and I had just had this bad argument with someone. They were just like, I don't love you, like leave me alone, bro. And I was like, what, you don't love me? And I sat there and I was like, I'm in love with someone who will never love me back. Because it's weird that I can see someone as my whole entire world and the other person can be like, I really don't care about you, I feel nothing for you. It's so weird. So yeah, it was just, I sat there and I wrote the song and I just, like, I was crying the whole time, but it was an honest, interaction with myself, and I was happy with the results at the end. But yeah, that was really hard for me to write. It was like making that project kind of felt like torture because I had to be brutally honest with myself. Like, it's kind of hard to tell yourself that, oh, you love someone who doesn't love you, or you're not ready to fall in love, or you're not loving yourself enough. So yeah.
All right. So I'm just like looking at the track list here. And I'm just looking at the track list here, and I'm just wondering, what was the journey? Let's start with the first two songs. Right. Is Love and Dangerous and I'm Not Ready.
Right.
Right. So when you say, I'm just asking, when you say, nah, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
What does being ready for love look like?
Oh my
gosh. In your head?
In my head, okay. I don't think anyone can really be ready. Because I don't think people get ready for things. I think we can prepare.
Yeah.
But I don't want to sound too like optimistic and stuff like that. But if I'm being really honest, understanding yourself first, because how can you learn to love and how can you learn to give if you haven't given any time or thought to yourself? And the biggest one for me, I learned to be ready for specific types of love, is to forgive yourself for the mistakes you made in other relationships. I really struggled to move forward with some things I had said or things I've done in the past, and that would impact new relationships, So I think that to be ready to love someone new, you really need to forgive yourself for the things that you've done to yourself, Yeah.
People think that not being ready for love is a joke, and honestly, it's not. It's like a high level of self-awareness to be like, you're ready.
Yeah, but I'm ready, dude.
But that's it's.
Yeah.
I don't like to box people in via their age.
Yeah.
But it does amaze me.
Yeah.
That at such a early points in your life, you have a high level understanding of love.
Right.
Because it's, anyway.
Can I tell you a funny story that you say that? I remember in my English class, a lot happened in my English classes in my life,
Who's your English teacher? Shout out to my English teacher.
Shout out to Smaris. Love you, ma'am. I had written this essay about love, and I was like, love has no, because I was like 13, 16, no, how old? 14. What's grade 9? Like 14, 15. Yeah.
15.
Yeah. And I had written this essay about love, and love has no age, because I was really in love with my first love at that time. Like, I was so in love with that boy. And I had written this essay, and I was like, love has no age, because people were telling me, what do you know about love? Like, how can you write about love? But in that moment, I really realized that when we're 10, 11, 12, 13, even maybe 5, if we're really experiencing this deep love, who is someone to say that, oh, you're so young to understand it? Because it's so real in that moment. And I remember my English teacher saying, Mandy, you cannot write about love like this. You are too young to understand what love is. No, Mandy. And I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm going to write an essay about love has no age. And I remember they read the essay in assembly that love has no age. And it was like, oh, wow, this new philosophy. And I was really, really like touched by it. And I still stand on it, that love doesn't impact anyone based on their age. Love just flows. It's a frequency. Okay. So you're like a kid prodigy. I feel it must be nice. I'm just saying, it must be nice being smart, being able to sing. It must be amazing, man. No,
hey,
just grateful.
Okay, so from that song you transition into Fall, and
yeah,
I feel like that was a strategic thing with the titling. I like that. I appreciate that.
Right.
I'm not ready for it. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Hey, man.
Interesting.
But yeah, a song like Fall. What's your relationship with the memories of your first? Because
Oh my
it
gosh.
changes with time. Like I feel like fresh out of heartbreak, you're like, oh man, F my first love, F my,
Yeah.
but then after a while it changes. So I'm curious to find. I don't know how fresh, this
Yeah.
was released last year, but I don't know how fresh this ordeal is to you.
Happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to find out what's your perspective on it. How do you look back on it now?
Yeah, I think the saying first impressions will always last, you know. I remember my first love, gosh, expose. I was like 14 when I met this person, and I really felt like the world was beautiful. The bells were ringing, everything was just so beautiful. But the relationship was so complicated because we're young, we're in high school, and the person was 2 years older than me. So I was 14, he was 16. Like the dynamics of like what we're both going through in like our adolescent stages were like in different stages of developments, you know. So there's a lot of lying, you know. So my song says, like you can hear it in the lyrics, you know, it was really complex. But I always fell for this person. Like I was in and out of relationships with my first love, like my whole high school life, from grade 8 till matric. So I was like, I always fall for this person, you know. But not anymore, not now. But
Hey, we don't know.
no, he's in America.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, but nonetheless, I just wanted to understand why I kept falling for this person. Like they lied to me. I cried. I even lied for them. You know, I went through so many different things that went across my character, went against my family, went against my friends. You know, it was really, really crazy relationship, and yet I still fell for that person. You know, so I really, really love is a very, very tricky thing because it can really, really blind you. You know, it's blind, deaf, and it's dumb. It can make you very stupid. So yeah, I just wrote a song about how I kept falling and falling and falling.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you stop falling.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm now rising.
Okay. Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. So before we dive into we already chopped it up about unrequited. We're gonna go into energy because I feel like it's a whole different energy.
Vibe. Do you know what? Before you start about energy, I hate that song. I hate energy. The thing is, I put a lot of time into the songs I write, right? And I'm so like I'm very picky and I'm like hard on myself. Energy was a freestyle. Energy had no writing. Energy was just I went in front of the mic. I was like, my energy flowing like the ocean on this melody. Why is it my highest streamed song? Why is it my best song? Why is it the song that Apple Music playlisted the most? Like I was like, huh? Like I didn't put any effort into that song, yet it was like the best song, like numbers wise, you know. So it like really upsets me, but it's a vibe. I just caught a vibe. I caught the vibe.
I think that's an excellent time to take a break. I can't believe that is unbelievable. Yo, we'll be back in a second with Mandlin Beams again. Man, I don't know. I still love Fall. I still love Fall.
I'm glad you love Fall.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome back again with Siba Selects episode 1 with Mandlin Beams.
That's right.
And she kind of left us on a bombshell, which we will dissect now that you've said it. That's going to be a thing. But before that, I had one more question regarding former lovers and things like that.
Former lovers.
Hey. Former lovers.
Hey.
Yeah. As a person, do you find that you end up falling for the same type of person? You know, the good and the bad. You know, it's kind of like if you look at, as Travis Scott said, I could take all my exes and put them all in a group. Is that you?
Right. Before 2021, yes, because that's when everything changed. But yeah, I did have a very toxic type. I had a Freudian phase. So if you don't know what that is,
what is Freudian?
So Sigmund Freud is a psychologist, and he has this concept that we fall in love with people who resemble our parents. Like, so women will look for like men in their partners, and men will look for a woman in. You get that. So I did go through that. I was looking for people who resembled a lot of masculine figures in my life, because I have my brothers and I are very close. My father was like really present in my life. So I'd always look for people who had similar qualities and similar attributes, but it wouldn't work because sometimes I'd always like look for the toxic parts of like those qualities, you know, authoritative, and of course your father's going to be authoritative because he's your father, you know, but your partner shouldn't be authoritative. Like you and your partner should be a team, you know, you guys should coexist with one another. So I was going through a Freudian phase when I was looking for people like men who were like my dad, and that didn't work out too well because obviously it don't work out. But then I found the light. I went to therapy, and my therapist like discovered that I was going through my Freudian phase, and everyone goes through a Freudian phase, you know, it's part of nature according to Freud. And now I look for kinder men, like men who are soft-hearted and are willing to express themselves, who don't have their walls like built up, like and just people who value vulnerability, you know. I'm starting to fall for the right type of man.
All right. No, we are happy for you. Welcome. It's nice to have you on this side.
Thank you. We love to see it.
And that brings me to energy. I think that's a nice little segue because you kind of at a point where you found yourself.
Yes.
Ish. You know what I mean?
I'm just living.
Kind of just, you know, the writing, Mandlin Beams.
On
the
energy.
Writing on the whole EP. The writing is dope. Please elaborate.
There was co-writers.
Shout
I
out
didn't do it alone.
Shout out all the co-writers.
So
I appreciate that actually.
Yeah, of course.
For an elite product, there's more to music than just music.
Oh no, definitely.
But anyways,
for me, I always struggle to write from a happy perspective. Like right for me, I collaborated with this amazing writer. His name is Eugene Sibanda, and he's an amazing writer. He writes for like people on Idols, and you know, he also does like a lot of rap, and he's just freaking phenomenal. And he really, really loves to write about love. So I made him through my producer scales, and he also co-wrote The Sky Is My Friend. He helped me with the verses because I just had the chorus. And we like wrote so beautifully together, and I love him, and I just want to write many songs with him. And then Fall was actually also co-written with my really, really, really amazing friend. Her name is Leah Mari. She's currently studying at Lambda musical theater, and her and I went to the KZN Youth Choir together. So that's where we met, and we've like always had this musical relationship. So we got on a Zoom in quarantine because we were bored, and we're like, girl, let's write a song. And we wrote Fall. So that was really cool. So then the rest was just me.
Why is it that the songs where you write from a positive perspective?
I need help. I need help to write the songs. Not that I need help.
Yeah. Hey, nothing wrong with needing help, man. Go get yourself. Go to therapy, man. I've been to therapy. I'm still in therapy.
That's right.
Many. I want to touch a decade in therapy. I'm about 7 years in now.
Wow.
It's about to be a real thing.
That's really, really important. Thank you.
So why?
Why what?
Why? Why do you need help writing positive songs, and why is it that the most positive song? Funny enough, you told me you freestyled it.
Crazy. I don't know. For me, music is a therapy. You know, when I write, I always say that musicians are so lucky because they can say what they want to say and not get in trouble for it. Because how can you tell someone you lie, you cheater, you conniver? You can't really go and say that to someone, you know. So it's really a safe space to. But my intention isn't to obviously go bash a person. It's to
yes, of course,
to write what I want so I can heal. You know, so maybe my words can help heal someone else. You know, we're healers in a sense. So like for me, it's when I'm going through pain, the only thing I know is to write it down. when I'm happy, I just enjoy the happiness. I don't really like to write it down, you know. But I'm learning. My new music is coming out, and it's a whole different vibe. I caught a vibe. Like, I've been going through a lot, but I went to Barcelona recently, and I just fell in love with the sound there. And everything I'm making right now is like bossa nova. It sounds like you're on an ocean, and everything's happy. And I'm writing for myself. Like, I'm not writing with anyone, and it's coming along. So in the time when I was writing Here's My Heart, I couldn't do that. So I'm grateful for the growth, because now I'm learning to just write about my happiness and be, you know, as people, we actually don't like to be present in our happiness. We always want to be sad. And I'm so sad. But when we're happy, we question why. Oh, do I deserve to be this happy? Or should I be happy? You know, so I'm right now like basking in my happiness and like owning my happiness, because if I won't, who will, you know? So
yeah, man, I saw the Barcelona pics. It's actually really dope that you're making music out there.
Yeah, it was really cool.
What were you doing out there?
So my brother's actually he lives there, and he's like studying there. He actually graduated. Cool, so he has like a lot of friends in university, you know, like obviously you'll find the music people, everyone's got their own thing. So his friends were like having a jazz show. So they invited me, and they had like an open mic on like the show. Then I just went there in like a random jazz club in Barcelona, and I started singing. Then they're like, oh, you're so good. Can you come to a studio session tomorrow? We're having a jam session, a studio session. Would like to have you there. So then I went into the studio session, jam session. And when I tell you guys, people overseas are different. Like, I got there, and everyone, it's like everyone was in a trance. Like, there's a drummer, there's a guitarist, there's a bassist, and they're like in this trance. They don't even say hello, Mandy. They say, go to the mic, go and sing. You don't greet, you don't do anything. You just catch the vibe. And yeah, we recorded a lot of music, like 2-3 songs. I'm really excited. I'm gonna drop them soon. And yeah, it was just like I went to studio for 3 days, and yeah.
Can you compare the spaces you were in Barcelona and the songs and the energy of the songs there versus when the physical spaces that you were in when you were doing the majority of this EP?
Okay, EP came out in 2021.
Yes.
So it was written mostly in quarantine. So I think everyone had a lot of time to introspect. I actually fell in love with someone in quarantine. I have a song called Quarantine Lover, but I never made the EP. It was supposed to make the EP as well. But
it was on Tinder.
No.
You didn't meet them through Tinder?
No.
Okay.
Ew. I judge people who go on Tinder. Okay. Sorry, go on Bumble.
Like, what is Bumble?
You don't. Bumble is just a less provocative Tinder. It's more, you know, palatable.
Such a Tumblr. Anyway.
People post in their suits, you know, like their work and their thumbs up. You know, they're not so provocative. But hey, like, who am I to judge?
Okay. What is it called? maybe we'll find love there.
Lol.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, you were saying the spaces you fall in love with quarantine.
Sorry.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I was in quarantine, and so I felt like, and then we broke up in quarantine. We fell in love in quarantine, breaking car, whatever. But that, till this day, is the most impactful relationship I've ever had in my life. Like, I learned the most, I loved the hardest, I got heartbroken the most, and my space, I was just shattered. And also in that relationship, I lost myself. So I didn't know who I was. I was like all over the place. So I really, really was not in a good mental space. I was depressed. I was, really depressed, you know. But I'm grateful I was in therapy. I have a family that's very supportive. My sisters were always like, you know, let's go out for dinner. And my brothers were like being supportive. And yeah, it wasn't really the best time. But I used the music as therapy. Then I wrote Here's My Heart. But the music now and the spaces that I'm in now, and also one more thing, sorry, with Here's My Heart, it was just me and Scales all the time. Like it was just him and I, and we really got this. Scales and I have an amazing connection. Like, I play with other pianists, I play with other people, but no one can do what Scales and I can do. I go to studio sessions with other producers, but no, like, Scales knows what I want before I say it. Like he's that producer that's like da 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 da, and I'm like, how did you know it? Like we're in sync, you know. And bonds like that are really hard to find. But now I'm working with different producers. I'm like working with Jordan. I'm working with Unami. I'm working with Prince KB.
Shout out to Mandlin Beam on Breakfast this way. Hey man.
You know, I'm working with all these different amazing producers. I'm working with YOLO. Love him.
YOLO's a beast.
Bro, he's crazy. Like, obsessed. So I am, opening up my mind. I'm making all my songs sound like a vibe. I was really happy. My intention with this project, or the project that I'm coming up with, is to intentionally educate people. So like, if I could give it a title, it's not the title. It's like, here's my mind.
Oh no, is this an exclusive?
So it's like,
oh
no!
man, oh man. Yes, I'm sorry. Could you say that one more time?
If it was a title, it'd be called "Here's My Mind." You know, as a continuation from my heart. Now I have my brain, my mind, my thoughts, not just my emotions and everything going through, but like, it's like bossa nova beats with consciousness lyrics, you know. I'm in my conscious bag.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
That's right.
You heard it here first. Okay. On that note, in therapy, I learned that there are two main minds, right?
Yeah.
One is called the robotic mind or the rational mind.
Right.
And one is called the emotional mind. I was in the hospital, that's why I know. Don't think I'm super smart.
Yeah,
I was admitted. That's where we do these things.
Yeah, no, and that's okay. Where will we learn?
Yeah, I feel like low key, I'm glad I went there. It's literally a school for your mind.
Wow.
Like literally, you learn how to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
So it's really beautiful to see that you're going from your purely emotional mind to giving us the complete 180.
Yeah.
And giving us your rational mind.
That's right.
If you don't mind to share, what are some of the little breadcrumbs of your rational mind? What does your rational mind say? We know what the heart is saying. The heart's
right now,
my
rational mind is saying that I need to live my life honestly, you know, and I need to be honest in the things I say and the things that I do and how I present myself. I've always struggled, like I said earlier on, before 2020, I had really struggled with like boundaries and people pleasing and always trying to say the right thing and trying to fit in and stuff like that. But I think I need to show up as myself and what I think I say, but I'm not going to be like, hey, you dumb boy, no. Of course, I will think before I speak. But yeah, just to show up authentically and to be myself. Yeah, and there's a lot in my brain to dissect. We'd be here for 10,000 hours. But yeah, I think the truth will set you free. And I'm feeling free. So, yeah.
Second to last question. Mandlin Beams.
No.
Personally, the sky is my friend is very special to me.
Right.
Very special. Very special.
To me too.
Because it all, like, I really loved the single. I don't think you understand how much I loved the single when I came across it. I was like, the sky is my friend.
Oh, you better sing.
You know,
that's my first song I ever dropped.
You know? So, I want to hear from your mouth, your perspective, because I have my own theories, but I love to see what artists, what were you saying?
Okay, I'm going to tell you mine, then you're going to tell me what you thought.
Okay.
So, I love the song. I just dissected it yesterday in front of a crowd. So, like I said before, the English class is where I found a lot of myself. And a lot of the philosophies, especially in poetry, was, why is the poet comparing his life to nature? It's like, we did so many poems on nature. I was like, okay, I need to understand why. Like, what is it about nature that makes us understand ourselves better, you know? So I also grew up in KZN most of my adolescence, and I was in like the middle of nowhere. Like, from my school, you could see the beach, like the view. So, and the sunsets there were just better than these purple green ones we see. Green? And I always found myself meditating and understanding and connecting to God through nature and sunsets and the sky. And every time I'd feel overwhelmed, every time I'd feel very stressed, because I lived at school, because I was in boarding school, I would go to the drama room, and then like there was a window, you climb out the drama room, and then it's just the skyline, right? And I always went to like cry there, or when I was grateful for something, I went to go pray there, I went to go meditate there. And that was always an amazing part of my life. I wrote that, and that's why my friend, because in boarding school, living alone can feel, and living with peers can feel a bit like, you can get a lot of discomfort, and like you can feel lonely, and you can feel like isolated from the world, because living in like the middle of nowhere. But the sky gave me comfort like a friend would, you know. So that's why the sky is my friend. And the rest of the writing was just more of like the appreciation of nature, and just like why do we not take care and like preserve nature, why we don't love the earth like we used to. Because I try to understand like what we used to do, and like we used to live as cavemen, and like, you know, like we were so connected to this world. There's something I do called grounding, where like you take off your shoes and you like stand like on the grass, and you connect, and you like feel the earth. And like ever since I started doing that, I really could understand myself and more about my roots, you know. There's night and day, and that's the duality of life, you know. Sometimes you're crystal clear in your brain, sometimes you're clouded, and that's just, I just feel like the sky is a metaphor, and it tells the story of my life. So yeah,
I was right. I'm aligned. Everything Mandlin Beams said.
Yeah,
I feel good. Yeah.
What did you think? That
the exact same thing. I mean, like the first time out, to be fair, I only got it after the EP came out.
Right. Okay.
Before,
so what were you thinking?
Was,
so you thought this girl saying the sky is my chommy, the sky is my fave.
You know, if she's singing about the sky or something, it's fine. It sounds nice. It sounds nice. I'm vibing with it. I'm vibing heavy.
Wow.
Then the whole thing came out, and you're talking about love and what, and then you get to, you know, the sky is my friend. I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it now. And the whole nature reference. Nature's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
The trees, the plants, the earth has seen every phase of human being.
Sure.
But it's still there. Of course, uninterrupted by human beings. It would
Yeah,
still
us
be
evil.
doing what it's doing.
Evil people.
You know, so it's like we need to learn to be like them and just be. You know, trees just be.
Yeah, hug a tree so you could. That was supposed to be a lyric in the song, but I couldn't find the place for it to fit in. Hug a tree so you can feel restored. But I do put it in there.
I'm telling you.
And just one more thing that I just want to share with this guy is my friend that I also like really resonated with. There's a line that I wrote that was like unpredictable. I feel the sky's the only one who understands me. And all my life I've been told that I'm so irrational, I'm unpredictable, I never know what I want, And sometimes, have you been to Cape Town? That weather is unpredictable. You know, one minute the sky is clear, green, whatever. And that's how I felt. Like I was like, okay, well at least there's someone who understands me.
Yeah.
It's the sky. So, people think I'm crazy.
You know, you are a very...
I'm gonna say Shakrahan.
No, not Shakrahan. although that wouldn't be
that wouldn't be off.
That wouldn't be off at all.
You cannot see my third eye. Protect your energy.
You understand?
Protect your energy.
But you're very I would have thought you were shy. But very
Why
much...
does everyone say that to me? Everyone always is like, oh Mandy, you can actually speak. And I'm like, what?
Yo,
Mandy,
guys, Mandlin Beams can speak.
A mind? And I'm like,
no, you can speak.
I think my social media is very like, because everything is like professional, like it's not so personal. People don't really know much about me. I don't know if I would want to be too personal because I think social media is scary. But yeah, a lot of people who see my exterior are like, oh, she's a shy, timid girl. But no, I'm not. I caught a vibe. I catch vibes.
Yeah, nah. On site from the jump, I was like, I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
So, my last question to you is now. I always like to end off with like a nice little comparison, wrap it up nicely.
Yeah.
Right for me is the last song.
Right.
Of course, you know. Right for me is the last song.
Yes.
Where were you then
Yo.
in comparison, nah, to where you are now, like right now, sitting in front of me now.
Yo. Do you know where the danger is?
Oh, I forgot to say, you don't have to say names. I don't want people to hate me there.
Oh no.
You know.
The thing is, if I tell people who my project was about, but no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I think
we know him now. I know him now. Even though I don't know him now, I know, bro. I know who you are.
LOL. I should stop dating musicians. That's what I should do. That's my first red flag. But anyway, I'm going off topic.
Same.
I was so in love when I would write for me. I was so happy, and that was my comic lover. Like, I really like. We were at the peak of the beautiful part of the relationship. You know, yeah. And I think you can hear it in the song. And I sound like I'm in love. I really am in love now. I'm in a very complicated space when it comes to love. Like, because after 2021, I didn't really date. I've been single ever since then, and I mean, I've been like getting to know other people and stuff like that, and my relationship life or my love and like where I am mentally when it comes to love is just I don't know, just existing, I guess. Yes.
If you could say one thing to write for me, Mandlin Beams, like if I was.
So in what context? If I could say to her about the person or
open-ended, anything you would say if you only had one sentence.
Do you know where the danger is?
One sentence.
Do you know where the danger is? That's what I would say. Right for me is where the song that you wrote about love is where the danger is. That you're not even gonna like that person, you're not even gonna even want to see that person's face ever again. Ooh, I'm sounding toxic. But yeah, no shame. I'd say thanks for being honest, but never stop loving and keep your heart open. Like, my heart was so open, and I was so open to love because I'm a hopeless romantic. Like, I'm the type of person
I can believe that.
That if I met a guy and he gave me his jackets, I'd fall in love. I wouldn't even question it. I'd be like, where's the ring? Like, I can hear the bells. So I'll just be like, yeah, keep that spirit, keep flowing in love, and keep writing like that. So yeah, so I would tell her.
On that note, thank you so much, Mandlin Beams, for being my first guest and for opening up and being so vulnerable. I really do appreciate it. I knew this would be a dope one.
Thank you. I'm really happy, and I can't believe I'm here first. That's right. And I'm really, really excited to see more. Shout out to you for creating this platform and just always writing the best stuff about us R&B babies. We love you.
You guys are hella, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's episode 1. Siba Selects.
Stream my EP. Here's my heart.
Here's my heart.
That's right.
You know.
New music coming.
Hey, new
Hope
music
you guys
coming.
are ready.
We might have had the title. I don't know. We might not. I don't know. But in the case that it is the title, I'm putting that snippet everywhere. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.